Hi everyone, welcome back to Myelin and Me, probably the best channel in the whole entire world about living with MS, where you'll learn like loads and stuff, blow my own trumpet, definitely this channel is ace. So, if you're new here, my name is Mike, I live with MS, I'm just a regular family guy. If everybody's singing Lucky There's a Family Guy, good on you. And just trying to make sense of life after diagnosis really. And today I want to talk about something that's completely changed everything for me, giving up alcohol. Now, before you click off and say it's another boring alcohol video, I'm not going to preach to you. If you drink, then happy days. I used to love it the 30 years I used to drink for. It was fantastic. I just want to just explain how it's changed for me since I've started, becoming alcohol free really. I didn't have a dramatic rock bottom moment where I thought, oh my God, I feel awful. But I thought, I'm not feeling too good with MS. I didn't feel right. So deep down, I thought, it's got to be something. And then I've watched a few videos on YouTube as you do about alcohol. And I thought, let's give that a whirl, see if that makes you feel better. So this is a real story of what happened when I gave up alcohol whilst having MS as well. So as I say, it's not preachy, it's just what's been going on. So we'll go back a little bit. Before MS, I'm not going to lie, I like to drink. Everybody associated me with a drink. It was like if you saw a picture of me, I had a pint in my hand, and I didn't think much of it really. A couple of beers after work, a couple of ciders in the garden when the weather was nice, like having a barbecue, maybe a glass of wine, watching something on telly, sporting occasions, concerts, you name it. It was all around alcohol. I used to plan my whole time about alcohol, and that was normal. It was part of winding down, part of being social, part of switching off. When I used to go on holiday, it used to be about beer. I've been to some cracking cities in this world, but it ended up being some kind of alcohol run. And I knew that it wasn't right, and I just felt like rubbish after it, but I still did it. Probably more because I was enjoying myself and sort of associated with enjoying myself, but got to the stage of MS, my energy was low, and I was thinking, why is my energy so low? And so I thought I'd try, getting rid of alcohol, which I did. I was escaping from my body failing, from uncertainty, from the guilt I felt when I was drinking and couldn't do the things I was doing. The thing is, alcohol gave me 30 minutes of feeling relaxed and then 24 hours of feeling worse. After the first couple of drinks, you just drink and just because, aren't you? Because it's a drug at the end of the day. And I think personally, MS and alcohol was the worst combination for me. And here's the thing really. It messes with your nerves, simple as that. Your fatigue, your balance, your bladder, your brain, you name it, alcohol will get into it. And then guess what alcohol affects? The same things as that. So it doesn't take a genius to work out what's going on there, does it? So I started realizing something. On the days after drinking, even just one or two drinks, my symptoms were worse. It really don't take a genius to work it out, does it? Fatigue was weird. My walking was more unsteady. My brain fog was just like I couldn't see through it. And my emotions were all over the place. I was angry, I was groggy, I was moody, I'd forget stuff, I'd snap at my wife or my kids for absolutely no reason. I couldn't put two and two together, and it took me ages. Then I'd feel guilty, then I'd feel tired, then more frustrated, and then I'd be like to my wife, I feel quite ill today, and she's like, well, yeah, you're drinking. It was MS. I knew it was MS. Was it MS? Or was it two in drinking and having MS? Was that just making me, So, the moment I decided to quit, it was one evening, and I was just sort of sat around. I remember it clearly. I just sat down. I had a drink in my hand thinking, why am I doing this? Why? I'm looking at the drink and I'm like, what? Why am I doing it? I wasn't enjoying it. I found out to drink more and more and more and more to have any effect. I wasn't celebrating anything either. I wasn't watching sport. I was just going through the motions, just numbing this condition. Didn't realise it at the time though. And I thought, what if I stopped? Not forever. Just give it a little rest and just see how long you can go. See how you feel after it. So I did. No announcements to anybody. Day one passed. Just me quietly saying, let's see what happens if I don't drink this week. I got myself an app, put it on the app. It tells you how many hours you've been sober, how much money you've saved, how much life you've got back, how many organs you've saved in your body. So it becomes a little bit addictive, doesn't it, having a look. So the first couple of days were really strange. I didn't feel any better at all. I was like, what's the point in this? I feel worse, if anything. And because I was like, what am I going to replace this with? I was just kind of sat down, and people say you've got more time, and I was like, nah, it can't be right. But it was. I was like, this is strange. And then my wife would say, do you want to get a takeaway? I was like, yeah, I'll get it delivered. And I'm like, I haven't got it. I'll just go drive and get it and save some money. So it was just this routine that we had, was just drinking, getting up, going to work, drinking. And then something surprising happened, really. By day sort of 4, my sleep started to change. I wasn't waking up sort of drenched in sweat. I wasn't lying awake at 3 a.m. With a racing mind and a dry mouth and couldn't be bothered to get up because I couldn't walk to the toilet, because I was just, I just woke up and my head felt clear. I'm still tired, yeah, of course you are. But different kind of tired. I wasn't poisoned. I was just a normal human tired. I thought, this is weird. This hasn't happened to me for a while. And my mood, it was miles better. I was calmer, more patient. My daughter was sort of, seems to be quite nice today. I'm always nice, but extra nice. I wasn't snappy, It was just normal dad, I think. So a couple of weeks passed, and I realised something. I wasn't giving up alcohol. I was taking back control of my life. With all the other changes I made as well, but definitely alcohol. I didn't feel like a zombie in the morning after I'd been drinking. I could plan things and actually do them. MS sort of will try and make you not do them, but I could do a lot more. The fog that used to hover in my brain like a grey cloud, it was lifting. I was remembering things, thinking quicker, feeling more in tune with myself. My fog was a lot better. My thinking was getting sharper and sharper. My bladder wasn't waking me up 23 times a night. My legs felt a little less stiff in the morning. I wasn't bouncing out of bed like some health guru. Don't get me wrong. Some people are like, I've got loads of energy. But let's not kid ourselves, okay? When I had more consistency, more predictability, I knew where I was. And using that with MS is a lot easier. It's like gold dust, it's one thing less to worry about. But, the part I didn't expect was the big shift. It wasn't physical, it was mental. I felt proud of myself. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But with MS, pride is hard to come by. It's easy to feel like life is slipping away, bit by bit. Your body won't listen. Everything, your plans fall apart, everything because of MS. So why have alcohol on it as well? But this was something that I controlled. This was my fault. I was putting this demon drink into me. Again, I'm not preaching, but that's how I felt of it at the time. I said no to something that wasn't helping me. I gave my body a break, and I realised I'm not helpless. I can do stuff to make myself feel better. Even with MS, especially with MS. It's, I just want to kind of give just a final message, because you're probably fed up with me preaching to you. if you're watching this and you've been wondering if alcohol might be making your MS symptoms worse, you're not alone. And no, you don't have to give it up forever or become some sort of wellness saint. I am. I'm giving it up forever. I'm done. But why not just try going a week? Just take 7 days. I know it's hard in this weather, isn't it? It's hot. And you want to go out, have a beer garden weather. But just see how your body feels. Notice how your energy feels, your mood, your sleep. You might surprise yourself. Nothing might work. But give it a whirl. What started as just a break for me turned into a life change. One that's given me more clarity and stability. It's given me the motivation to finally do what I was too tired to do before. Like create these videos, share my story and help others. It's one of those things which I'm glad I did. It's one of those things, just give it a whirl. If there's anything that you found helpful, give me a like, drop a comment, and if you've ever thought about quitting or cutting back from alcohol, I'd love to hear your story. Have you tried it? Did it not work? Have you gone back to drinking it? If you're new here, please subscribe for more honest talk about MS, and we'll have a chat about things like this. Works both ways. If there's anything you want to talk about, in future videos, give me a shout. But all take care of yourself, and until next time, be kind. You've got more power than you think. You can do things which you never imagined you're going to do. MS won't beat you. How many times have I mentioned MS in this video? But MS, no chance.